Hey guys, Miss Ragosa here. I am in sunny Goodsprings, and today I would like to play through a mod that I made called TNT Ranch Stay a While in Goodsprings. And as you can see, this is the ranch behind me. There's a restaurant downstairs where those guys just headed in for lunch, and I'm gonna go upstairs because upstairs is where we have the store called TNT Emporium. There's the inside little bar area. We're gonna talk to this young lady here.
Hey, how goes it?
Who are you?
I'm Tess Turner. Trish sells food, liquor, and chems, and I sell, well, everything else really. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
What is this place?
It's TNT Emporium. There's me, Tess. And then there's Nate in the restaurant. And my business partner, Trish. Put us together and you get TNT. I think the story is that the store used to be a barracks before the war. There was a silver mining operation here, and it's where the crew stayed. Me and Trish live downstairs in a house that's inside of an actual cave. It's apparently where the owner of the mine stayed. Pretty neat. And the main cave, just past the restaurant, that's the gecko farm. It's also where Nate and Ryder live. Though I've got to admit, it's a pretty cool bachelor pad for being in a cave amongst the geckos.
Are you from Goodsprings?
Nope. Quite a ways from here, actually. Little town out east called Boston. That's right, I'm a city girl, born and raised. Besides the culture shock, though, it's really not so bad. Okay, other than the stench of Nate's geckos. That's a smell I'd rather not get used to. But it comes with the territory of animal husbandry. And I have to admit, the little monsters are bringing in a pretty penny. Besides, I mostly hang around up here in the shop, or in my workshop. I like to tinker in my spare time. But overall, I like Goodsprings so far. Generally speaking, I'm glad Trish and I made the move. But it seems like our timing could be better. I say that because in the short time since we got here, 2 people have randomly disappeared.
Disappearances, you say?
Mm-hmm. The 2 incidents don't seem related other than the fact that they were both on the highway leading north out of town when it happened. They weren't from Goodsprings, so the town is pretty anxious over it, but at the same time, they're not really attempting to do anything about it. Not one of their own. Still, I hope they turn up alive.
Any odd jobs you need done?
How do you feel about heights?
Oh, geez. Actually, I'm afraid of heights.
Oh, darn. Well, I'm sure I'll eventually find someone who's not afraid of a little ladder.
Okay. On second thought, today's as good a day as any to overcome my fear of heights.
Great. So, here's the story. Goodsprings is a great place for a ranch, but thanks to all the mountains, it's not so good for receiving radio signals. And for me, at the moment, being unable to send and receive radio signals is not an option. I thought, no problem. There's a water tower at the top of the hill, so there's high ground. I'll just pay one of the locals to climb up, install my antenna, and power it up. Easy peasy, right? Well, I guess the guy I asked wasn't a local. And he definitely wasn't reliable. I'm still not getting a signal, and I haven't heard from him since the other day when he took my caps and left. From what Katarina tells me, all he does is hang around every day at the bar here in town. The nerve of some people. In retrospect, I realize maybe I shouldn't have paid a guy I only know from here at the bar to do important work for me. But, long story short, I need you to finish what Vakiro Kirk left unfinished. Do you think you can do it? Be some caps in it for you.
Yeah, I think I can pull that off.
Super. I can't wait.
And she can fix your stuff. She has
Sure, take a look. It's the bee's knees.
just an assortment of mostly misc items. So, alright, I've got a
See
quest.
you later, alligator.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go back outside and downstairs. Into the restaurant through the train car. And it's a little narrow in here, so I'll wait for them to kinda get out of my way. Because this is the guy. Speed in between the stools here.
Welcome to the Gecko Farm. Broil 'em, grill 'em, stick 'em in a stew. We do it all.
Who are you?
Nate Sparrow, thus the name of my establishment.
Are you from the Goodsprings area?
Was born on a gecko ranch in California, just outside of Clement. Built by my great-great-granddaddy with his own two hands. Klamath is the best place around for trapping geckos, but my ancestors took it a step further and perfected the art of domesticating the sons of guns. These days, though, the noble trade of gecko farming in California ain't what it used to be. Got me thinking it was time to look for greener pastures. When Tess and Trish passed through town a while back, the three of us got along real well. That Trish can drag me under the table. Then the last night before they planned on leaving town, Trish mentioned the two of them passing through Goodsprings on their way west. Mentioned how it seemed like the perfect place to set up a gecko ranching operation, and jokingly floated the idea of the three of us doing just that. Turns out me and Tess thought she was on to something. We headed out the next morning.
Okay. Have you heard about the people from town that disappeared?
Yep, low down shame about those people. Hope the locals get to the bottom of it. They've made it clear us newcomers ain't home here.
Fair enough. Are you the chef?
Yep, I run the restaurant. Ryder's my farmhand. He does most of the work with the geckos. Other than slaughtering, that falls in my jurisdiction. Ryder and me work pretty well as a team, long as those two broads don't get in the way of his work. Weird they ain't got nothing better to do than hang out in a cave what reeks of gecko shit. But I suppose it's a testament to Ryder's popularity with the ladies.
You said gecko farming out west isn't what it used to be. Why?
Truth be told, the future of farming in California is looking mighty uncertain at the moment. Too many decades of bad farming practices, coupled with damn near depleted aquifers. A consequence of the NCR's mad dash to feed an expanding population. They say within a decade, folks will start starving. Felt like a good time to scout for fertile soil elsewhere, as it were. Not smart to keep all your eggs in one basket anyhow.
What's with those guys walking around outside? They're actually right in front of me. But...
Well, you ask them, and they'll say they're just hobos. Nobody really believes them. Hobos ain't much known for sneaking around, watching everyone in town with binoculars. Suppose I shouldn't complain. They're in my establishment every day, and they ain't stingy with the cats. Still, as a newcomer, it's hard to gain the trust or patronage of folks in town as it is. Having those so-called hobos hanging around don't help.
Let's see. Any work you need done?
Yes, as a matter of fact, schoolhouse next door is, unfortunately, crawling with aggressive mantises. Unsavory critters. Infernal bastards are starting to mess with business, seeing as folks don't want to fight giant bugs every time they get a hankering for a smoked gecko. If you could put 'em all out of my misery, I'd be much obliged.
Sure, I can manage that.
I thank you kindly, partner. Let me know when they're gone.
What's on the menu today?
Take a look.
sells a little bit of ammo, and then, of course, a lot of food. It's a restaurant. Let's see, he sells some smoked food also, because there is a smoker outside. So Nate sells smoked food, and you can smoke your own food at the smoker. So, there's
Be
that.
seeing you around.
And let's bother these guys. They got nothing to say to me about this one.
I don't know why the town hates us. We're just trying to get by.
Uh-huh. Who are you guys?
Hobos, obviously. What kind of question is that? You think we're up to something?
Yes. Seems like you're creeping everyone out. The way you just lurk around with binoculars.
They're paranoid and delusional. Don't know what else to tell you.
Uh-huh.
We're just hobos trying to survive.
Sure, bud. I need to get going.
See you around.
Yep. Alright. If we proceed through the train car to the rear, then we find ourselves in the gecko farm, which is inside this cave. Here are the two broads Nate mentioned. We're not going to talk to them right now. Let's talk to Ryder.
Howdy.
Who are you?
Name's Ryder. Ryder Clay. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Who are those two in the dresses?
Oh, those are my friends, Katerina and Priscilla. Yeah, they hang around kind of a lot. They say they like the geckos.
Is that what they call it? Are you concerned about the disappearances in town?
Yeah, it's got me a little worried, to be honest. I've been telling Katerina and Priscilla to watch themselves. Shit, and watching myself too. Try not to leave the cave, if I can help it. Not much for us to do in town anyway, seeing as we ain't really welcome here.
How do you like it here?
I'll say this. There's plenty to look at in Goodsprings, if you catch my drift.
So at least there's something, right? Are you new in town?
Yup, me and Nate just got into town. I raise the geckos, Nate cooks them, and those two dames upstairs, they run the store.
Any work you need done?
Maybe? But, nah. You wouldn't want to do that.
I don't know, I might. Let's hear it.
Okay, here's the rundown. It's mating season for our geckos, which is only a problem with the fire geckos in particular. The reason? Nate's preferred male specimen is an aggressive son of a bitch we've taken to calling Sparky. Nate found him in the wild when he was already grown, and decided he was going to bring him here and use him to breed. I know good gecko genes when I see him, he says. Decided he would trank him and we'd bring him back here. Well, we barely survived on account of that bastard was harder to knock out than Nate anticipated. But somehow, we managed to get him back here. On his own, of course. Sparky doesn't live with the other fire geckos. Nope. Sparky lives in a deathclaw cage inside his very own room, behind a locked door, on account of sometimes he gets out of his cage. And somehow, Nate thinks it's cool to have me go in there, risking life and limb for some of Sparky's sample. Well, Nate's fucking crazy. I'm a humble gecko farmer's apprentice, and honestly consider this to be above my pay grade and definitely outside my expertise. You, on the other hand, you look like someone who might be able to handle yourself around a fire gecko.
What's in it for me if I get Sparky's sample?
The bonus Nate said you'd give me for doing it? 300 caps. Decent amount of caps, but I ain't risking my life for it.
Nah, count me out.
Okay, cool.
On second thought, I'll get the sample for you.
Alright, so here's the key to his room, and a container to... well, you already know what the container's for. Oh, and you'll find the gecko prod in the trunk just inside Sparky's room. If you can manage to hit him once with the bad boy before he kills you, he'll be out cold. At least long enough to do what you gotta do. And have a couple atomic cocktails, too. They'll help you in case you get hit with any fire. When you're done, just leave the prod in the trunk on your way out.
Alright, I have to get going.
Catch you later.
Alright, so there's another quest. Let's quick walk through the cave. segregated by type. So in this room, there's some yellow geckos. Can't go in there yet. Fire geckos in this room with their very own tabletop jukebox. Oh, okay, I can't pick that lock. This is a brand new character, and she cannot pick average locks. We'll go back through. Hello, yellow geckos. Back up. As Priscilla's friend, I don't know how to tell her Ryder's not into her. Ah, okay. Moving on. This is where they slaughter and process the geckos. This is Sparky's room. I'm not gonna go in right now. And that's back to the fire geckos, so it's one great loop. But I'm gonna save the quests for next time. But there's one more thing. I'm gonna go into the store. We're gonna talk to Trish.
Hey there, sweetie.
Who are you?
I'm Trish Walker. Good to meet you. I've got all the food, booze, and chems you need in stock and at a fair price.
Are you new here?
Just got here from the East Coast. Spent most of my life traveling all up and down the eastern seaboard, trading whatever was lucrative at the time. Made quite a name for myself over the years. Lived it up, partying and carrying on with no one but myself to answer to. Could tell you a few stories. Wild times that I'll always hold dear to my heart. But as I got older, I realized it wasn't for me no more. The traveling lifestyle. So I decided to give it up. Pass the torch to a new generation of merchants. Last town I was passing through was Boston, which is where I met Tess. For reasons I won't get into, she was at a point in her life where she felt it was best to relocate. And me, I was never tied down to any one place to begin with. But well, I guess I had taken a liking to Tess. Maternal, you could say. She has a good heart, and she's smart as a whip. But between you and me, she's maybe a little naive. Needs someone with street smarts to keep her feet on the ground. So, long story short, we made the mutual decision to head out west. Sure, I ain't a traveling merchant no more, but I ain't retired. Just a change of pace, you know?
Okay. That's a big move coming out to the west.
There's always gonna be a special place in my heart for the Atlantic. But it was my time to move on and settle down, at least relatively speaking. Besides, gecko shit or no gecko shit, this desert air is doing wonders for my tired, achy old bones.
Does it freak you out living on a gecko ranch?
Oh no, honey, they're domesticated. Nate is the result of several generations of gecko farmers, so I trust him to know what he's doing. And Ryder is a good boy. Very good at training the geckos and more or less running the farm. Those two hussies, though.
Oh,
The ones that follow him around like lost puppies.
you don't like them, do you?
Not in the least. All they do is parade around that cave in their dresses and high-heeled shoes, traipsing through gecko shit. Real smart, huh? Just look what they taught my beautiful Tess to do to her face. Paint it up like some strip harlot.
Kind of a ruthless
And
old lady.
bothering that young man while he's on the clock. Though, to be clear, it doesn't seem that he's complaining. Oh, to be young.
Have you heard about the disappearances here in Goodsprings?
For the world we live in, par for the course. Don't get me wrong, I do pray those folks turn up unharmed.
I'd like to see your wares.
Have a look, hon.
And just kind of an assortment of, just got a lot of food, just got some ammunition. So,
Take
that's the ranch. That's their house. That's the kitchen. This is where they sleep. Tess's workshop area, because she's a tinkerer. And bathroom. So that's the ranch. That's that's the people that stay at the ranch. And I'm gonna cut this video here. And I hope to see you all next time when I'll do some of these quests and see what else is in this mod. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching.